All right, so we're going to mix it up with you today, Chris. We'll be talking space, but other things too, including this first story. So JPMorgan CEO Jamie Dimon, he told Bloomberg TV that the next generation of employees will work only 3.5 days a week and live to 100 years old, all thanks to AI. So you guys were like, don't know about that one.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your take on this?
I was just reading an article about just a little over 100 years ago where, kids were still working in coal mines, and they were working 6 days a week, 12, 14 hours a day, starting at like 6 years old, because they would have to pick the rocks from the coal. And that's only 100 years ago that we were doing that. But we invented machines and slightly smarter systems and optical systems, so that's not the sort of thing that people should have to do. We shouldn't have to work that long, and that's not a good job for human beings. You know, we're smart, we're clever. That's what we ought to be optimizing for. And so I'm all for integrating intelligence and machinery to relieve us from stuff that we really shouldn't be doing and stuff that we don't want to be doing. But on the other hand, we need to regulate it. We can't let it take over. The whole purpose of all this should be to improve the quality of human life in a sustainable way. That's what we should be targeting. And I think we've integrated fire. We've integrated sharp objects.
A long way.
Oh, no, but really, sharp objects. Think how dangerous fire is, and yet we take it for granted, and we need it. Or sharp metal, or gunpowder. I mean, or fuels that explode, or even nuclear power. All of those things have tremendous destructive capability, and yet we've integrated them into society, and they improve the quality of human life.
Do you ever get tripped up, though, with, also over 100 years ago, just over 100 years ago, there were 1.8 billion people on planet Earth. Now there are 8 billion in just over 100 years. So do you ever think about, this sounds idyllic, 3.5 days, but where's the money going to come from? Who's going to, businesses don't typically pay people more to work less.
Well, I think you chose a little bit of the curve there. So what's the population of the world been versus what it is now? And if you go back, well, if you go back 10,000 years, it basically stayed at the same level because people died young, and because work was so hard, and we had really bad medicine. And then starting about a little over 200 years ago, it started coming up. And so we were almost steady state population for 10,000 years. And then because of mechanization, industrial revolution, improved medicine, women not dying in childbirth, not having forced labor so that every woman didn't have to have 15 children. I mean, most women don't want to have 15 children, right?
Yay, birth control!
I'm no expert, but...
That's a great invention.
So... But if you look, that curve that has taken us from 1.8 million to 8 million now, it has already started to level off, and we're going to level off at about 10 million people, or 10 billion people on Earth. So the real question is, once we hit that new sustainable population of about 10 billion people, can we do that and give all 10 billion people a good quality of life in a sustainable way? And so we're talking about a 3.5 day work week. I mean, it kind of depends on how you define work. I'm a writer. What is a work week for a writer? Or if you're a dairy farmer, what's a work week for a dairy farmer, right? Or it kind of depends on what you define as work and how you fill up your days. And are you being mentally challenged, or are they taking advantage of the things that
Can we jump on that part? Because the other part of this was we're going to live to 100, which, P.S., that's exactly what I'm trying to do.
Really?
Exactly what I'm trying to do.
Why do you want to live to 100? Because I do the opposite.
If my child has children, then I want to see my kids, my grandkids. I have wisdom that I've been accumulating all of our lives. This culture, unfortunately, we're not good at giving respect to the wisdom of the elderly. I want to be around. I'm learning a lot of cool stuff, and I want to be able to pass it on. And like you said, once we max out, and if everybody can live to 100, and then, I don't want to live to 100 and I'm not able to be independent. I want to live a health span to 100. And I think if we can have, listen, there's already technology that's helping people, in this article was saying, to live longer because we're finding things faster. We're curing clearing things faster. We've got AI diagnostics working alongside doctors to diagnose things earlier. Like, that's the technology I want to live to see a day with no illness.
Yeah, but this technology is also going to eliminate 300 million jobs, according to Goldman Sachs, and more than a quarter of the American population is worried that they're going to lose their jobs. We were cheering about that 3.5 workday week, but it may be, that projection may be off, and it may be 0 days, because all of our jobs, writers, us sitting here, AI can take over everything right now. So I think we have to look at this differently. I'm very, I'm a Debbie Downer about this. I'm just very optimistic, as you can tell.
Really? You were hiding it pretty well.
I was smiling really nice as you were talking. I'm like, yeah, that's really nice. I think that we are under this misguided notion that this technology that we have created, that we can control the speed in which it's moving at. And AI is very smart, and it's moving much faster than we can even imagine. And that train has already left the station. So when I think about living to 100 and I see the way that we're moving at a glacial pace when it comes to climate change, like, we're not even fixing the things, and we know that's a problem. I don't necessarily know if I want to be here when I'm 100 years old.
I'll let you know how it is.
Right? I get the curiosity. I want to see, but I don't know if we're going to be able to sustain that. What's our planet going to look like?
So we already grow enough food for 10 billion people. We waste about 2 billion people's worth of food every day. So the planet
but
already...
But there's a food insecurity issue as well. And a lot of
so that's a distribution problem.
Yeah.
The planet already provides enough food for our long-term population. We just have to do a better job of managing ourselves, and we can't do it with old technology. We need to use our new inventions, but we got to integrate it properly. It takes time. But the points that you're making were just as loudly made 250 years ago when the steam engine was invented. You know, all of the loom operators were like, oh, I mean, where did Luddites come from?
But
it's because they're like, well, our way of life is going to be ruined, and change is hard, and people are fearful of change, but change is the only way that we've got such a good quality of life right now.
I hear machines.
I totally hear what you're saying. But it's not fear of change. It's that we have change we need to make now, and I'm not seeing that change happen. That's why I'm like, do I really want to see what's going to happen?
What time in history did everything go perfectly?
None. None, but
so that's not going to happen now either.
You're not worried about the AI technology whatsoever?
Well, we need to regulate it like ever. I'm worried about all kinds of stuff, but I'm not fretting about it. I try and actually do something useful about it.
I'm going to fret for you.
Okay, good.
I'm fretting about it. I'm fretting about it.
You know what I love? Guys, we just got to debate with an astronaut. How cool is that?
Hey there, what did you think? Drop your comments below and join the conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can find more on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. See you soon.